She basically got hit by a truck. So Matilda had a broken pelvis. We could see that straight away. She can't even walk. She can't go to the toilet. She can't eat. She can't drink. If that woman hadn't moved her off the road, Matilda would be dead. Now, we're just going to sit down here with Matilda in a nice cozy place. Oh. So, I'm going to set Matilda down to start off with so she can rest. She likes to come out onto the balcony. So, this is Matilda's story. Unfortunately, her tail is in the water. Matilda is a dog who's had a very tough 10 days, but we have some big hope for her. I'm going to tell you her story today. She basically got hit by a truck about 10 days ago, little Matilda. She's a street dog who lives here in Thailand. And she was hit by a truck 10 days ago and it whacked her back end. And what happened was a lovely Thai lady found her basically on the side of up on the north of the island, like the side of not a motorway, but a big road, and she couldn't move. And luckily the Thai lady put a blanket on her and moved her into her shop. She wasn't a dog sort of lover or anything like that. She didn't know what to do basically, but she knew to get the dog safe and covered her up with a blanket and everything. So Matilda was safe, but couldn't move at all. And what happened then the next morning was a friend of ours, Maddie, actually went and got Matilda and brought her straight to us, and we were able to get her straight to the vets, and the news was really, really bad. If you love dogs as much as we do, you love to spread the word about it. One thing that you can do to help us is just hit the subscribe button down below. It takes you 1 second and it genuinely does help spread the word about the street dogs all over the world. So Matilda had a broken pelvis. We could see that straight away, which was really, really bad. It's so bad that you can actually hear it rubbing. It's like, I don't know, if you ever hear two bones rubbing together or something like that, it's really, really horrible sound. She also had a broken ankle. So those two things, along with a third thing that we only discovered about 3 or 4 days later, which was a ACL, which is like a footballer or a sports person can get the injury, and ACL is your knee. So it was ruptured. So the 3 things in her back meant that she couldn't stand at all. So Matilda was basically out of action, but she's very lucky. She's got a big friend here, Hank, who's helped her. So that was bad, and we brought her in. But the good news is, I'm going to lift her up to show her to you a bit better. The good news is we brought her into Happy Doggo, and this is the most comfortable position for her, believe it or not. She loves sitting like this. I'll often come into the house and she'll be on her back because her legs up in the air seem to be when she gets a little bit of relief. So she really likes this position. But the problem started then about 6 or 7 days after she came into the land. This second leg actually got infected right down to the bone. Even though she'd been at the vets and had all her medicines and everything, it was just such a bad infection that it really gone deep into the bone. So much so that Sybil and the vets were worried that she might even lose the leg. So that was really worrying. So that's when I decided to bring her here. Now, a lot of people probably say, why don't you just take her to the vets and get the operations? Well, I have to explain that. Basically, she has a lot of issues with her blood. Because she's a street dog, she was anemic, which is, when you're, I don't know exactly what anemia is, but most people know. It's like, blood problem. She also had issues with her platelets, and she had blood parasites. So 3 different things really wrong with her. All of those mean that if we gave her the operation on her legs straight away, little Matilda would bleed to death because her blood is just too sick and too thin. So we have to wait about 2 weeks. It's been 10 days now. We think she's going to be able to be operated on Friday, which is so it'll be about 12 days since the accident. But unfortunately, that's what we have to do. So we just have to keep her comfortable. She was at the land, but she can't even walk. She can't pee herself. She can't go to the toilet. She can't eat. She can't drink on her own. So I have to carry her out to the toilet. She's on a lot of very strong pain medicine. So you can see she's not really suffering. In terms of what type of dog Matilda is, what age, the way we tell it is always by looking at her teeth. So you can see her teeth are a little bit sort of worn down at the front. They're kind of little short teeth, and then at the side they're quite new and clean, and that tells me that she's probably about 5 years old. But when she was at the land, she was getting a little bit stressed out. She was trying to eat her way through the kennel, so she was bleeding in there. So it's a very stressful time for us, but mainly for Matilda. To try and keep her comfortable for 12 days when she's in this much pain is really, really tough. But she's going to the hospital tomorrow. She's going to go with Larry to a place called Hua Hin, which is 1,000 kilometers away, 800 kilometers away. She has to get a ferry, a taxi, and she's going there to get wonderful care. It's where Billy got his operations. It's where Celine got her operations. It's where we send dogs that have really, really serious injuries. But she's a little angel of a dog. The way she's conducted herself, the way she's so gentle. The only time I saw her, she snapped at me once when her bone was sticking out, and I was just trying to take the bandage off to try and make her more comfortable, and it was just so painful for her. Do you want to lie down, madam? Let me get you to lie down. There we go. She likes lying on her side because she's always trying to find a place to be comfortable. Like sometimes I'll come in, one leg will be up here, both legs. She kind of can twist a little bit, but not massively. So we just need to be careful that I keep her moving. Like if I don't move her, sometimes she won't move for like 10, 12 hours. So I have to like turn her over, just keep her active really. And what's going to happen at the operations, she's very fluffy. She's like I think she's a breed dog. Somebody's had her as a pet, I think, because she's very, very beautiful, and then maybe let her go, unfortunately, living in the streets. So what was I saying? She's she's going to get screws and metal plates, and kind of like Stitch had, if you remember Stitch, and some of those type dogs. She's going to be fine. She's going to recover quite well, we think. Everything is good with her apart from her whole back area. I think it might take, she's going to be in the hospital for a good 5 or 6 days. The operations are going to be about between 30 and 60,000 baht, which is like $1,000, $2,000. Probably end up being more because there's always complications. But you can see how she loves her belly rubbed. Nothing wrong with her up here. Everything is totally fine. So if we can fix the, like basically here backwards, all the problems are here, like massive problems. If we can fix all that, Matilda can have a really good life, I think. She's a very kind dog. She's very gentle. She's got Hank here looking after her. It's really funny. Hank, she was scared of Hank at the start because the problem is because she's immobile, she can't walk. Dogs get very scared in those situations because they can't defend themselves. They can't get up. So she knows that. So even though Hank wouldn't do anything, she was kind of like barking at him to get away. But slowly Hank kind of edged his way in, and now he looks after her and he sits and protects her, which is really, really nice to see. So a very, very gentle dog, a dog that, like if that woman hadn't moved her off the road and Maddie hadn't brought her into us, Matilda would be dead. Nobody is going to spend that amount of money on an operation for a street dog. Nobody has that sort of money, so it's very much, we're very lucky that we're able to do that for her. And the other thing is, people always ask me about adoptions, or is she going back on the street? Way too early to talk about that sort of stuff. I would say no, but the first, I would say yes to an adoption, but the first thing we have to do is fix her. She's obviously so incredibly sick that we're not even thinking about those sort of things yet. So the first thing we need to do is just get her fixed, and then once Matilda is fully better, it's probably going to take, I would say, a month, 2 months to rehabilitate her, but she's going to be absolutely fine. She's a wonderful dog, and it is worrying, but she'll be better in no time, basically. We're very, very hopeful. Now you can see Hank has just walked into the shot to join us. Matilda loves having him around. Hank is really he's like a big brother. He doesn't like male dogs, but you can see that he likes sniffing her. He likes protecting her. She didn't like it at the start, but she loves it now. It's like a big protector. So nice to see that. You can see that she really likes him as well. It's gentle getting to know each other. So that's well done, Hank. You're a great protector. I looked in last night. I went to have a shower and then I came back and the two of them were lying beside each other with Hank. Hank would never be in the place where she was, but he just lay down beside her, and I think he made her feel at ease. So it's nice to have a big brother like Hank when you're sick. So Matilda, that's her story. I think she's going to get, I'm very confident. I wouldn't have been confident, 2 years ago before I knew more about dogs, but now that I know what the hospital is like, I know what her injuries are like, I know the vets are fantastic, Sybil is fantastic, she's got the medicines. Her injuries are incredibly serious, but she's going to be better. She's a wonderful dog. If you want to see more of her story and all the dogs in general, a subscribe would be massively helpful. Subscribe, like, comment, whatever it is you like. Matilda would appreciate it. But that's Matilda's story. Hopefully next time I'm making a video, you'll see her jogging. Jogging might be a little bit optimistic, but walking beside me very soon. So best of luck to Matilda.